All right. Welcome back to the Basketball Podcast, where I'm just gonna talk straight basketball. I mean, all I've been doing these past few days. Well, I haven't recording in a while, first of all. But what I've been doing these past few days is I've been just watching a whole lot of high school girls basketball film and studying that. But I have been trying to keep up with NBA as much as possible. I have notes here from like last week, but I think today we're gonna start with some hot takes. Why not? Let's start off with some hot takes. All right. I think I'm gonna start off with the Bucks. I think the Bucks are gonna like struggle during the regular season. I really do. I just I don't know. Dame and Giannis haven't really been that great fit together. Dame's out now. Without Dame, Giannis had like a 50-point game and they still lost. Um, the Bucks don't have enough like bench pieces to be successful now, but I could definitely see like a whole different version of this team step up in the playoffs when necessary. But I'm not really too happy with what's been going on over there. We thought that, Dame and Giannis, this is going to be the best thing to ever touch basketball. And if you watch Jimmy High Roller, he made a great video on it. How on paper, these two look great. Like they look like a fantastic fit. But we just haven't quite seen them click as much as we wish they would. Like I think, let me look at and a real professional pulling up my phone in front of the camera, right? Um, just want to look at their record. They are 5-3. I mean, not as bad as I thought. But that's not good for what we thought they were gonna be. We thought, you know, Bucks getting Dame, they're gonna be amazing. But I think the biggest like difference to them and what I've noticed is how terrible, terrible defensively they are, especially on transition. Like I was listening the other day to one of their games, and they've gone to like the worst transition defense team in the league, which is crazy to me how you're doing that. But whatever. I mean, they lost Drew Holiday, they lost Grayson Allen, they lost. And that's really about it. They didn't really lose much, but Chris Middleton's back, which he's actually playing better as a third option than as a two, in my opinion. He's much more efficient. He does the right things. Doesn't really, handle the ball as much as he was. And no offense, he probably shouldn't have. I go to A&M, and I know he went to A&M, but I'm just trying to be honest. The Clippers. I don't know who up there thought that, oh, let's bring James Harden. This is going to be a really good idea. Let's go trade everything for James Harden. Well, James Harden's been to 4 different teams in 4 years. And have any of them done anything? I mean, maybe Philly last year, but they fell short. Like, really short. Maybe the Nets, but that was because of KD. Like, this dude, he's a cancer. Like, he is. He's a locker room cancer. He's a cancer on the court. And he's a cancer to the city. Like, the only thing positive he does is strip club revenues do go through the roof, it seems. But I will say, Russ is playing extremely well. He kind of fits this Clippers team. Him and Paul George are playing really well. I don't know much about Kawhi, like how much he's done this season. I know he's not a fan of having to play more because he made that very abundantly clear that he does not care about this new required to play rule. He straight up said, that ain't gonna make me play more games. You know, whatever the Kawhi voice is. Then I just think the Clippers like made the worst decision, especially come playoff time. This team is gonna struggle. I mean, I think Kawhi will be better if they go to the playoffs. Let's say if they go to the playoffs, they should. They should go to the playoffs, but that's if they do. Paul George will be Paul George. I mean, he's a great 3-and-D player now, and he's got some of the tightest handles in the league. But I don't think Harden's going to be good in the playoffs, especially for this team. I just don't see any of it like improving with getting James Harden. People are calling it the retirement home, which I can kind of see. You know, because you got a bunch of these old players who are past their prime playing. Well, I mean, Kawhi's not past his prime, but it doesn't seem like he wants to play in his prime, so that's not, you know, it's not our fault. That's his fault. Whatever. Like right now, I think I want to say something about KD specifically. Kevin Durant, in my opinion, is the best plug-and-play player. And what I mean by that is, like, you can take Kevin Durant and you can put him on any team, right? Their offense will go up. Their defense will go up. The whole team will be better. He makes, I don't know why, but he just fits in any system. Because he kind of is outside of his system. He kind of plays on his own in a good way. And I was going to say Harden is the worst plug-and-play player in my opinion. The Sixers are playing better without Harden. I mean, maybe not back in Houston when he was like a 30-plus point per game scorer. But, you know, he was like the only person on Houston at the time. And then they added Chris Paul, and then that was terrible. And then he was not really that good on the Nets. Like, he was actually pretty bad on the Nets. And then, so yeah, I think he's the worst plug-and-play player in my opinion. I'm going to, like, talk about my top 5 right now in the league, who I think, like, the top 5 players in the league. No specific order. Okay, no specific order. You gotta have Jokic up there. I'm not a fan of him, but he is a top 5 player, and he's the best player in the league right now. Like, he is. I just hate to say it. Luka, my MVP pick for this season, which I talked about in the previous episode, where I said if the Mavs are a top 5 seed, Luka should be MVP. I mean, and he's only proving me right. Tatum could be MVP. I don't see why Embiid would ever be MVP again. I don't think Embiid is even top 5 in the league right now. Steph is playing unbelievably well. He is carrying me in fantasy. Him and LeBron. And then my 5th player, you know, I made this list like a week ago. I had Donovan Mitchell up there. I love Donovan Mitchell. He's one of my favorite players ever. But I can't really give it to him right now. It's either Giannis or LeBron. LeBron is, I mean, this dude is 39 in his 20th season, playing better than so many people. He's playing insanely well and extremely efficient. I mean, he's like flirting with the triple-double every night he plays. Um, Sorry for yawning. I can't wait to hear about that from my sister. Um, but no, LeBron almost has a triple double in every game he plays, and like everything he does, he's just making a positive impact for the Lakers. Like the Lakers without him on the floor look lost. Like they just look terrible. And then I'm gonna go to some like honorable mentions of the season so far. Donovan Mitchell, he's been playing great. Anthony Davis has been playing great, which I talked about how I think Anthony Davis will be the make or miss player for the Lakers. Like they need him to be playing at his full potential almost all the time for them to be successful and competitive in this league. Cam Thomas, if you don't know who Cam Thomas is, first of all, go watch some basketball. Second of all, he's a bucket. He's like straight bucket. Like any shot is a good shot. This dude's moving. I think he shoots a moving shot better than he does a standing still shot. He be pulling up one leg, fading baseline. Any shot is good to him, and he's scoring at an unbelievable rate. Which some people say, his defense is terrible, but then I don't think his defense is worse than Trae Young's defense. But Trae Young's still considered a top player in the league right now. James Harden's considered a top player in the league, and his defense is negative. So I don't see why Cam Thomas can't be up there if he's producing these kind of numbers. Anthony Edwards last night he destroyed my Spurs. It's okay. It's okay. We've had a rough season so far. Promising season, but the losses are rough. We lose in overtime to the Raptors when we were winning. We lose to the Pacers by 40. Lose to the Clippers by 40. Lose to the Knicks. It is what it is. We got to keep moving on. Shea is also saving my fantasy. This dude he does everything. It seems like he just gets buckets. He's efficient. He doesn't even shoot threes. Excuse me. And he plays pretty good defense. So, and that Thunder team is kind of scary, I'm not going to lie. De'Aaron Fox, before he got hurt, was looking incredible. Mike Brown is doing a great job over there as a coach. I'm pretty sure that's his name. But something my roommate really pointed out was how I think it's Mike Brown. Yeah. Yeah, Mike Brown. Something he's doing really well is making De'Aaron Fox want to play the game of basketball. Before he got there, De'Aaron Fox, he's a great player before he got there, but he was a good player. And then he got there and he made De'Aaron Fox want to play. If you ever watch a Kings game and you see in the fourth quarter and you watch De'Aaron Fox play, there's this switch. I don't know why. I don't know how, but this dude just like that switches and becomes the most clutch player I've ever seen with my eyes. I mean, I guess you could say Dame, but this dude does everything. Defense, offense, playmaking, everything in the last 2 minutes. Even the Warriors game, if you guys saw that when they were in Sacramento, they lost, however, but they were came back in the last 2 minutes with a big deficit. The Kings culture is great over there. Mike Brown's doing an amazing job as a head coach, and I really respect him. And I'm so glad he won Coach of the Year last year. We're going to move on to Victor Wembanyama. I would go grab my jersey over there, but I don't want to be called a Glazer, even though I am. Just how it's got to be as a Spurs fan, He's him. I have that written down, and I don't know if you can see that. He is him. He is him. This dude pulled up. He had a great game against the Timberwolves the other night. We don't talk about the one in New York, but great game against the Timberwolves. like he was. This is the first time I've seen him shoot threes at like a high rate and in rhythm. Like every single three he's been taking this season so far has not seemed like in rhythm. These were unbelievable. And then like going back to the Phoenix game where he had 38, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks. He did have 2 turnovers. He shot 15 for 26 from the field, which I wish not right now. I wish he shot like a higher percentage. I mean, he's 7'5", 7'6", 7'4". Who knows how tall he is? He's tall as hell. That's all that matters. But he shot over 50% from field and the three. And then last night against the Timberwolves, let me pull that game up. He had 29. He shot 12 from 21 from the field, which is really good. And again, this guy is 19. He's like 6 months older than me. I'm sitting here making crappy podcasts while this dude's playing in the NBA. So what am I doing wrong? I don't know. Whatever. He's winning Rookie of the Year. I don't care how good of a rookie year or quote unquote rookie year Chet Holmgren has. Wemby's getting that award. I could see Chet winning Depoy though. This dude, his defense, like especially like paint defense, the rotation is insane. Like this dude, he's like he helps on drives, then on the kick he's out to contest, then rotates back into the paint for like blocks. This dude, he's everywhere. He's all over the court. He rotates so fast and so effectively, which I think he does a little bit better than Victor. His rotation is a lot better than Victor, but the Thunder are a little bit more of a complete team in my opinion than the Spurs. So it makes it a little easier, and he had a whole year to work on it. But I still want to give Chet his props. He's playing incredible. Like I said, his baseline work is elite. And then I'm gonna do something a little special right here. I'm gonna talk about. I was gonna act these out, but I don't know how much I actually want to do that now. Considering I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear me do that. You're just gonna hear like noises. And then, well, I'm gonna go to the top 5 like most unguardable / moves / players this season. Very specific, like extremely specific. Why am I standing up? What am I doing? I'm gonna stand up for one of them because you'll see why. Number 5, De'Aaron Fox, when he wants to. Honorable mention, Zach LaVine, one night every year. That's just, Zach LaVine does it every year. He has like a 50 or 60 point game out of nowhere. He had 51 and his team in a total had 102 and they lost to Detroit. He had half the points, which is so sad. But yeah, De'Aaron Fox when he wants. Number 5. Number 4, when Steph Curry has 27,000 screens around Draymond. Nobody can stop it. Nobody's been able to stop it his whole career. Number 3, Cam Thomas on the move. When Cam Thomas is standing still, I'd leave him open. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't leave him open. But on the move, this dude doesn't miss. Like, there's not a shot he doesn't like. I don't know how. He just. I mean, it's like me, you know. I'm just a difficult shot maker. If you know me, I pull up middies,
Never mind. I do got that midi though. Anybody that knows me, I got that. I got a midi. I got the nastiest mid range in the game. And that's not even a joke. Don't test me. Number two, this is Jokic when he has the ball like above his head. I don't care if he's passing, shooting. If the ball is cocked back like a freaking catapult from the mid-century, this dude is gonna find an open man or gonna pull it from God knows where off his back foot and make it. Like, oh, it makes me so angry. Like, I shoot above my head, but this dude be pulling this thing back like he's like charging it up. I ain't ever seen somebody do that, and he just makes it look so easy, and it makes me so angry. And then number one, if I figure out how to get this camera to work, you're gonna see me act it out. It's the Mom close your ears. The fuck you three. If you know, you know. When LeBron hits you with the sir, do you want this ball? Little step back, pull up. I ain't never seen him miss it in my life. I ain't never seen him miss that shot. He'd be like offering you a freaking cookie out here, and then he'd be snatching that thing back, and I don't know how he makes it every time. I don't know why defenders fall for it every time. I mean, I'd probably fall for it, but like, you know, I can make fun of them because I'm not out there. So, and then I'm gonna go over the fuck you three is the greatest shot in all of basketball. It's the most unguardable move ever made, ever created. It just is. No offense, Jordan. But I'm going to go over the top 5 worst players / moves this season. If you've watched any of the Suns games, you would be asking, why is Eric Gordon shooting 27,000 shots? This dude is trying to relive his prime that he had like 15 years ago. Stop shooting, Eric Gordon. Just stop. All right? Number 4, DeMar DeRozan, if he's like, I don't care how much DeMar DeRozan is behind the three-point line, but it just doesn't go in. Nobody knows why. He doesn't know why. It don't matter. He's on the all-time scoring list. He's a bucket. But, like, you stick that dude behind the three-point line, and he ain't going to make it. Number 3, Joel Embiid. If you've watched him this season, there's been like 5-6 instances where he's going into like the paint, driving, he gets fouled. He like flops because he got fouled. And then he like smacks somebody in the face or like hooks somebody or like commits like an even worse foul than what was done to him. And he looks like such a fool every time he does it. Oh my goodness. Number 2, if this one isn't obvious enough, then you haven't been keeping up with the NBA that much. Jaylen Brown's left hand, or I guess he only has a right hand, so there is no left hand. This dude, like, literally cannot go left. I don't know what it is. Nobody knows why. He's still getting buckets. He's getting paid a fat bag to make business. Like, this dude will, like, Euro and then go up with the left and be like, oh, nope, I forgot. I can't do that. Go up and under with the right and throw it up and miss it. Like, I've literally seen him drive to the left side of the hoop with his right hand dribble, like, and then do, like, a reverse layup when it was contested because he doesn't want to shoot with his left hand. And then number 1, I hate that I have this written here because he just shut up my team, my favorite team. Number 1, I have Julius Randle. Yeah, no, Julius Randle. Like, that's it. That's all I wrote was Julius Randle. Like, he's been so terrible this season. everybody's saying that his like field goal percentage is like 4 for 20. It's like, oh, Julius Randle's tour date dropping, and you couldn't be wrong. Right, I'm a Julius Randle hater. I don't care. I'll say it. I'm not a Julius Randle fan. Ain't never been. Ain't never will be. I'm not a Knicks fan, so whatever. But he just he kind of balled out against the Spurs. So I guess I'm biting the freaking bullet or whatever. But it is what it is. And then I'm gonna go back to looking at my way too early predictions for these awards. Wow, they look terrible. Okay, the ones that don't look that bad are my MVP. Well, actually, these aren't that terrible predictions. Like MVP Luka or Tatum, depending on their seeding. Rookie of the Year, Wemby. Come on. Clutch Player of the Year. I said Dame. Can I give it to Wemby too? He's been so good in the clutch. No, I can't. Okay, whatever. I'll say Dame or De'Aaron. Most improved. I said Desmond Bane or Anthony Edwards, which I could still see both of them winning it. Or Cade Cunningham. He's been a baller this season. Shout out to Cade. DPOI. This is the one that looks like a fool. I said Walker Kessler or Mikal Bridges. I really thought the Jazz were going to be better than they are. And I literally haven't heard a thing about Mikal Bridges other than he goes to Sabrina Ionescu's games. So I'm going to give my Defensive Player of the Year to Chet. 6-man. I had Derek White in here, but he's not a 6-man. So I'm going to give it to... I don't even know. I don't even know 6-man, so I guess I got to see in the running at some point, and I'll talk about it then. And then I want to talk about, like, some of my favorite young players around the league, like, weirdly specific that you've probably never heard of. If you watch Spurs basketball, you know that guy, Malachi Branham. That dude is a bucket. I love Malachi Branham. Wish he gets more minutes. He was like my pick for the Spurs like breakout player of the year or whatever. I was kind of big on Keontae George, the guy who went to the Jazz. He looks pretty solid so far. He doesn't look bad. He's from Baylor. Cam Thomas is a bucket. You gotta love watching him. I love Donovan Mitchell. He's one of my favorite players. De'Aaron Fox, when he wants to play. Like, when he wants to play. Josh, what's his name? Josh Green for Dallas. He's like a shooter. I think that's his name. Yeah, Josh Green. It's kind of clutch, I'm not gonna lie. Every time I've seen him play, he always hits some like big shot. So I love Jalen Duren. I wanted him so bad as a Spurs fan. I also wanted Tyrese Halliburton. I literally cried that draft because we did not draft Tyrese Halliburton and he was the next pick. We got Devin Vassell, which I love Devin Vassell, but I was happy with Devin Vassell, but I was just so unbelievably distraught from not getting Tyrese Halliburton. It's okay though. We gotta move on. Gotta move on. That's a Spurs fan life. You gotta move on. That's really it. That's all I got written down this week. So I'll see y'all next week. I'm gonna try to see if I can get this camera thing figured out so it's a little bit more engaging. You kind of see me. I don't know if you want to see me, but you'll see me. So yeah. You guys have a good one. Thanks for listening.